The following program contains explicit candor. If you suffer from self-deception, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your political advisor.
Speaking the truth when others hold their tongues. Wrestling for justice with left-wingers and crocodiles. Resisting the temptation to keep the peace at any price. The only talk show host who writes his own theme music, Randall Terry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I am a disciple. I don't know what that big word means. It scares me. But I'm glad that you're here, and you, because we have a very, 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 very important show to bring you today. Iran starts a contest over cartoons about people who burn the Quran and tear pages out of the Quran. Andrew Beecham, you've arrived, baby. And Tea Party candidates, woo, they are hot. And Karl Rove, desperately seeking to stay relevant. Eat your pathetic heart out, Karl. Today's program brought to you in part by the National Republican Senate Committee. They won't give money to Christine O'Donnell, but they'll use her face to raise money. And by Senate candidate Christine O'Donnell, putting the fear of God in lukewarm Republican rhinos. I'm going to take a quick break and give my good friend Sir Reginald Bling a chance to say something profound. Reggie. Just turn the thing on. I got something to say. Nancy Pelosi, in a radio interview in New York City, said that people who are protesting this damnable mosque should be investigated. What? Is this the Nazi government? Is this a fascist government? You mean because someone's having enough smarts to say, oh, you don't want to put an outpost in the very place where the enemy killed innocent people, that we should be investigated? Girl, I want to investigate if you have anything between your ears except mush. Welcome to the program, friend. I believe it was Monday of this week. I had the privilege of being on Sean Hannity's radio program. We are going to play a segment of the interview that I did with him, along with a fairly maniacal Egyptian Muslim who was coming unglued on the air. It's worth listening to just to hear her froth. For those of you who want to hear the entire interview, you can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Randall Terry, and check it out. I'm getting a lot of comments from around the country, and I appreciate the encouraging words. It was fun to do after the enormous amount of research that we have put into this topic. We're going to play a segment of it later on in the show, but first, we've got to talk about the Tea Party and about the primaries. It's getting exciting out there. Let's start with the new poster child of the GOP and of the Tea Party, Christine O'Donnell. Look at her. She's young, articulate, attractive, even a little bouncy, effervescent. And the Republicans are throwing money at her. As of the recording of this show, she's right at about $1 million. One senator, I believe from his campaign war chest, gave her a check for $42,000. Presidential wannabe Mitt Romney, $5,000. Now, the benefit of this is that it says to Karl Rove, and I ask everyone's forgiveness for the glee that I can't hide. It says to Karl Rove, Karl, go back to Texas. Take your multi-million-dollar consulting gig that you got with Fox or whoever it was and go away. Just go away. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Karl Rove was President Bush's chief political advisor. He was who got President Bush elected in 2000 and then again in 2004. Karl Rove is not our friend. Karl Rove is not a man committed to principle. He's a man committed to an R, a little R, after a person's name for Republican. But it could be Rhino as well, Republican in name only. They don't care. And the beauty of what is happening with the Tea Party is this. They're sending a message to the Republican establishment. We don't give a darn who you tell us is electable or not. We don't care. We just sent a 9-term congressman, a former governor, packing. Goodbye. And we picked somebody who's got financial problems paying her school loan. In fact, some of it might actually be a sympathy vote. I mean, she almost had her house foreclosed on. Yeah, I lost my house too. She saved hers? Cool. Having trouble paying her student loan? Me too. Let's elect her. Let's get someone in office who understands our pain, the pain in part caused by people like Obama and by Joe Biden and, oh, dare I say it, the Republican establishment. Yeah, the Republicans who helped bail out the banks and the insurance companies and the auto industry and go down through the list, even beginning under Bush. Remember, taking our money to bail out fat cats, indebting our children to pay the ticket, because it's all borrowed money. Yeah. And so the Tea Party is sending shock waves of terror and horror down the back of the Republican establishment. Most of the Democratic leaders are too stupid to recognize the way this country is swinging. The challenge is this: to have it swing to the right, but have it be based upon ethics. Some of the races, okay. Oh, by the way, they're saying creating O'Donnell's not electable. She's not electable. Well, that's what they said in the primary. Why don't you get off your fat hind end and help her? Maybe she would be electable if you'd go door to door and lose some of your political lard. I can't believe I said that. That was mean, but I thought it was funny. All right, Nevada, Sharon Angle, neck and neck right now. Tea Party candidate, this close to taking Harry Reid out. Ooh, I love that. Florida, Marco Rubio, very conservative, 13 points up on the current governor, Charlie Crist, who abandoned the Republican Party, says, I'm a moderate. What other races do we have going on? We've got one more, don't we, that I want to talk about? Oh, Rand Paul in Kentucky. He's up 15 points over the Democrat. And by the way, concerning Christine O'Donnell, they say, oh, she's down too far to win. Does anyone remember the name Scott Brown? Yeah, Massachusetts. I'm not even a Scott Brown fan. But 10 days before the election, he was down close to double digits. And he pulled it out of the fire. No one thought he could win, and he did. So right now they're writing off Christine O'Donnell. Trust me, it's not over until Election Day, and she can win. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back from this break, we're going to play a segment of my interview on Sean Hannity, so you're going to hear it. And we're putting up images of some of the stuff that's been happening over the past week. You're going to enjoy it. Listen, I'll be right back.
Why is it that when you have been looking for something for hours, you find it in the last place you look? Could it be that it's because when you find it, you quit looking?
Moments with Moses. If you chance to come upon a bird's nest in any tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, and the mother sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, you shall not take the mother with the young.
All right, let me move on for the constraints of time that we have here. Jahan, I have pointed out the radicalism of your friend, Imam Faisal Abdul Rayouf. 19 days after 9/11, America's an accessory to what happened. Osama bin Laden made in the U.S., his unwillingness to condemn Hamas. We've gone through all of that. Rayouf's ex-business partner, this is new that has just come out today, Dr. Fayez Khan, actually claimed that 9/11 was an inside job. Here's what he said.
I can tell you from traveling the third world, I'm from the third world, that everyone I talk to in casual conversation, even in Europe, North Africa as well, the Middle East, Pakistan, India, when the subject of 9/11 comes up, they're like, oh yeah, we know it was an inside job. What don't the Americans understand? It's surprising. I mean, talk to a cab driver, if you will. They'll all, I'm serious, they will tell you, yes.
All right, so he's making the case that 9/11 was an inside job. This weekend, Imam Rayouf talking about radicals in America. Here's what he said.
The decisions that we will make, will be predicated on what is best for everybody.
How will you decide that?
It's been very difficult and very challenging because, unfortunately, the discourse has been, to a certain extent, hijacked by the radicals. The radicals on both sides, the radicals in the United States and the radicals in the Muslim world, feed off each other. And to a certain extent, the attention that they've been able to get by the media has even aggravated the problem.
You know, Jahan, you're friends with the Imam. Who are the radicals in the United States? I don't know anybody in the United States that's talking about 72 virgins awaiting them in heaven if they go on jihad and martyr themselves and kill innocent men, women, and children. Who are the radicals, your friend?
Let me tell you about the radicals.
Who are
the
they?
Radicals are like Mr. Terry. People who act like the Christian Taliban and burn holy books.
Stop 1 second. Randall Terry's not advocating murdering anybody, not talking about martyrdom, and does not believe he gets 72 virgins if he kills innocent men, women, and children. Are you going to say that's on the same level as a jihadist?
The acts speak for themselves, and I think what we have.
No. I'm not going to let you. Are you saying that you are making a comparison between jihadists that kill innocent men, women, and children, and somebody that rips a page out of the Quran?
It is both. You know what, Sean? Desecrating other people's holy
I got
books.
it. Is it the moral... Jihan, is it the moral equivalent in your mind?
And if anybody would say anything, would define it in any other way...
So a murderer is the same as somebody that rips a page out of the Quran. I mean, look, there are people that burn...
It's not...
Wait a minute. In Saudi Arabia, they confiscate Bibles and crucifixes and any religious paraphernalia that is not of Islam. Are you calling them radicals?
It is not. It means nothing to you, and that's fine. But it means a lot to people. 1.5 billion Muslims around the world, and 7 million Muslims here.
But you cannot compare a murderer with somebody who rips a page out of a book.
Muslims who sacrificed their lives to rescue.
All right, let me get Randall to respond.
Of their faith on 9/11 and lost their lives. Muslims who are fighting our wars in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
I pointed that all out. Why I thought it was unnecessarily provocative to have a Quran burning, but Randall, apparently you're right up there with radicals that are involved in jihad and murder.
Well, I guess I'm a little bewildered at that comparison, but the fact is this: we tore pages out of the Quran that called for us to be crucified, to be beheaded, to be murdered, to be banished, and to be imprisoned. Now, again, these are passages in Surah chapter 5, Surah chapter 8, Surah chapter 47. People can read them. People can Google that press release we sent out that tells the chapter. Read chapter 5. Just read chapter 5 of the Quran. They blaspheme Christ. They say that we are infidels. They say that we should be killed. So for us to tear these pages out is an act of intellectual self-defense. It's consistent with our liberties, and I did it so that we as Americans would have a debate and do some research on the life of Muhammad, on the history of Islam, and on what it would mean for the United States to slowly but surely, in fear, bow its knee to Islamic Sharia demands.
In what way are we bowing our knee to Sharia today, Mr. Terry? Can you explain that? No claims and assumptions. It's facts. In what way are we bowing to Sharia today?
No, if America...
Whoa. Let me answer that question. Hang on a second. Because Imam Rayouf wants America to be Sharia compliant, Terry.
Right.
Randall.
And listen, one of the papers I did for my international law course was that Sharia law is completely incompatible with the human rights norms of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of association. If you live in a nation that is under Sharia law, and there's many examples, you are simply not allowed to practice your faith and to speak the truth as you understand it without criminal repercussions. People disappear, Sean. They just disappear. Their bodies are never found.
Randall, Terry, thanks for being with us. Jihan Hardy, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
And your platform will be no property taxes, no IRS, no Social Security, no abortion, and no homosexuals. Good luck with that, buddy.
And your camera tactics don't scare me.
It is a fine thing to be honest, but it is also very important to be right. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program. I again want to thank Sean Hannity for the privilege of being on his radio show. Let's make no bones about it. He's one of the biggest broadcasters in the world, and it was a privilege to be heard by millions of people. Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Randall Terry, if you want to hear the entire interview. On to other news concerning tearing out Quran pages. Iran is actually having a competition about cartoons regarding Americans, Jews, and Andrew Beecham. Look at that cartoon. Tearing the pages out of a holy book. They're mimicking Andrew. I told them, look, when you get to the place where there is caricatures and political cartoons about you or your activities, you're in tall cotton, son. I've got to read to you from the press release or the newspaper story that was in one of the Iranian newspapers. Listen to this. I'm not kidding you. The president of Iran, by the way, is following what we're doing. And the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, railed against what he called insane, revolting insult to the Holy Quran in America. I'm sorry. You want us to show respect to the book that says that Christians are infidels, Jews are infidels, that these infidels should have their hands and their feet cut off, should be imprisoned or banished or crucified or beheaded or murdered. You want us to show respect to that book, and that we're insane because we don't respect that book and we tear pages out of a book that calls for our murder? Mr. Ayatollah, I am thinking maybe I am not the one who is crazy. Maybe, just maybe, you are the one who is crazy. You want me to show respect to a book that calls for you to cut off my head. I am not the crazy one. You are. President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, listen to this, attributed the incidents to a, quote, intricately hatched plot by the Zionists. Andrew, I told you, keep the Jewish Zionist connection a secret. But no, you had to go run your mouth. Now they know. The word is out. This whole thing was an intricately hatched plot by Zionists. Who are the crazy ones here? I don't know, but I'm feeling like there's some crazy wind blowing, and it's coming out of Tehran. Yeah. Go ahead. Do cartoons, and may the best cartoonist win. I'll be right back. Both we and our fathers have sinned. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly. Thomas Jefferson said, Islam was founded on the laws of their prophet, that it was written in their Quran that all nations who should not have acknowledged their authority were sinners, that it was their right and duty to make war upon them wherever they could be found, and to make slaves of all they could take as prisoners, and that every Mussulman who should be slain in battle was sure to go to paradise. Thomas Jefferson, one of, I might add, the most tolerant men to ever hold the White House, one of the most pluralistic men to ever hold the White House. And certainly when he was president, he was not a devout Trinitarian Christian. In fact, tragically, by that point in his life, he had come to deny the Trinity. And later on in life, even spoke openly against the deity of Christ and the Trinity. So in that point of theology, Thomas Jefferson actually concurred with Muslim theology. Nevertheless, Thomas Jefferson understood the threat that Islam was then and still is today to freedom. If we want to live in a free nation, freedom defined by the Judeo-Christian ethic of our founders, the Judeo-Christian ethic given to us from the Old and New Testament. If we are going to have freedom and keep freedom, we're going to have to resist the tyranny of Islam.